Nirmann show, and today this was actually May and middle of May 2007, and today the person I'm bringing to you all is a man who doesn't need any introduction. He has been known as a man of 1,000 lovers, and you know, in the history, Krishna, right? He was known as the ultimate lover, having thousands of lovers. So of course that's the first name, Krishna. And the man himself is, everything about love, which is in Hindi called Prem. So today's show, we are going to meet the one and only one, the famous Krishna Prem. Krishna, welcome to the show.
Appreciate that introduction. It's great.
How are you doing?
Excellent.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
So I'm sitting here in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, in this beautiful, beautiful house of Krishna Prem. Very beautifully done. So Krishna, how did you ever, create such a beautiful place, this fireplace and all this artwork?
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but this is my best friend's house.
Okay.
And he's retired now and he wants to sell, and I'm just blessed. I have also a nice place, but you might have not made such a nice introduction. But part of being in love is to feel abundant, and here I am. I love this space. It's very creative.
Right.
And this man of 1,000 lovers now has one lover who lives down the road by bicycle.
Yeah, I met her.
And it's a very, just in case she sees this video, she might think those other 1,000 girls are still here. But basically I just come and go. But I like living alone now. I'm old enough now where I love having a girlfriend that lives down the road.
Right.
And I love being alone, and this is a blessing. But I always live in beautiful homes, and usually they're provided by OSHA, but this time it was my best friend.
Great. Well, when I said 1,000 lovers, people who have not met you personally or know you personally, like I do, they often read your this very juicy newsletter called Guru G, you are you, and there are lots of jokes and lots of talk about women. So the perception is he's loved by so many people, but to put the record straight, yes, I did meet your sweetheart.
No, in fact, it's always good to have some good publicity. But in fact, there's truth to it. I mean, I was brought up with no mother and 4 older sisters. And because I didn't have a mother, I didn't know much about relationship. But because I had 4 sisters, I knew a lot about women. So in fact, I have been blessed with loving women, but always having in the past been afraid of relationship. So I had some great times this lifetime. I wasn't always 60 years old, and I was a young man, and I was very attracted to Osho. But for every young man that was attracted to Osho, it seems like there were 2 young women attracted to Osho. So yes, I've had a great time, and I never felt like I was being abusive towards women, but I didn't know how to commit necessarily. And what happens is you play enough and you learn to love, and you learn to say, hey, I want to be with you. And that's the beginning of relating. But I could never, so in a way I had a great life, but part of it was the fear of relationship, but not of relating. It's kind of interesting. It's usually the opposite.
It's very interesting coming from you, the man, who's so loving, and to be talking about relationships. And we'll get back to that point of relationships, because you're the man I really want to talk about relationships. Good. But before I do that, I want to take a little flashback, go back years ago, and ask you to tell us about the journey from Boston to Pune. So tell us, go like 30, 35 years ago. How did that happen?
It's, I think it's more fascinating because I'm an American. And it's really not that easy to get from America to India. Psychologically, they're completely opposite. At that time, materialistically, they were completely opposite. And I don't think I would have had the courage to go from Boston to Bombay. But what happened for me is that after college, I got a job managing a small chain of hotels in London. just outside of London. And there you meet Indian friends. You met the British hippies coming back from India. And between meeting the young people coming back from India and the waiters that I knew that were Indian, because at 2 in the morning when I closed up the hotel, the only place I could have a bite to eat was at an Indian restaurant. I became friends with the waiters, and what I liked about it right away was the men had a female quality. And the people I was meeting in the bar, the men had a male quality. And I was very attracted to the softness and the passion of the Indian friends that I met. And one day I got so drunk at my own hotel that instead of going to dinner, I literally got on the plane.
So you can blame it on booze.
I can blame it on booze. Booze is, I always say, intoxication is a right. You know, most people you meet either love a drink or love not to drink.
Yeah.
And life becomes black and white. But there is a moment when it's great not to drink at all. And that moment was a great time to get drunk, get on an Air India flight, one-way ticket.
Oh my God.
And I'm in Mumbai. And I couldn't believe my eyes and ears. So England helped me to get ready. And I got to India, and it was very big for me. I had never experienced anything like it, and immediately I met a woman. I mean, that's what you do, right? I didn't know how to meet an Indian yet, you know. I always
you have to tell the secret of how this happens. Like you land up in a strange country and you meet up a woman.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Oh.
Well, you know,
people live for years in a place and they keep looking for, you know, somebody to make friends with, and here you are, you land up in Bombay and suddenly you say, I meet up a woman.
Well, as a man of truth now, I must go back and say I've already lied. But the beauty of the story is I met a girl in England, and I had enough money to buy a round-trip ticket for me, or 2 one-way tickets, and we could both go. So I must say the courage that I had was meeting a girl I'd rather be with a one-way ticket than being alone with a round-trip ticket.
That's a lesson number one.
That's a lesson, and that takes guts. And I don't know where I got those guts from. You know, it's so cute. You know, everyone has had that moment where they were courageous. And 10 years later, they start to shake and say, did I really do that? Did I really go to India with $500 in my pocket and a one-way ticket and a girlfriend? And it was fantastic.